Man, Benny the Butcher has been one of my favorite acts over the last 3 years. Now, I know he's been rapping much longer than that, but I first heard his name in 2017. The run that he's been on, how much enjoyment I've gotten from his music, not only his own projects, but feature-wise as well. The dude just doesn't tend to miss. Easily the hungriest when it comes to rapping out of Griselda to me. Dude raps like everybody in the room needs to hide their plate because he's eating everybody's food. Conway has some amazing penmanship. Westside Gunn is a really good curator. Just the whole camp in general is just talent. And I know one of the criticisms that gets levied against Griselda most frequently is their predictability. You know, people know what to expect from them. But, you know, I'd ask the question, do you enjoy the game any less knowing that LeBron is going to play? Do you enjoy the game any less? Rest in peace, Kobe, knowing that Kobe was about to play, knowing that Michael Jordan was about to play. The thing that made those games to me wasn't like thinking that, oh, these dudes are about to do something that I cannot expect. I enjoyed watching the game because they made it fun to watch. They got me invested because of how competitive they were. They played the game. You know, it was a sport. And that's how I feel about Griselda. Like yeah, you know what to expect from them, but at the same time, I don't enjoy the rapping of the songs any less, knowing that they're going to do what they're going to do because they play the game. They're competitive. They're in the spirit. I don't like them because they rap over boom bap beats. Nobody cares about that. Regardless, Benny the Butcher is dropping his album Burden of Proof with Hit Boy. I'm really excited to listen to it. I've been waiting on this thing since it was announced, since it was first teased. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I just want to hop right into it, you know what I'm saying?
What you coming, nigga?
All right, just I know you said you're coming, but I'm not ready yet. I'm not pausing now. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm back, nigga. Yeah,
back, go away.
All I did was get advice from niggas who sellin' white. Put the money on the table before the plug said the price. I was eager. Ain't no the
It's the delivery right now. It's the hunger. Despite the fact that you already being acknowledged, it's the hunger, it's the drive, it's the motivation, it's the fucking tunnel vision.
Hoes fall in love when you look like a nigga who get it. I know how I feel. Yeah. Plastic on the floor like you renovating. It's not for kids, so you gotta
Dog!
Y'all don't spend enough on guns, but a lot with the truth.
I want to say this beat, this instrumental is hard, it's heavy, it's not. Benny the Butcher is just endurance. That's all he is. It's how much can you take? That is this dude's music. Where would I go featuring Rick Ross? How do you exist?
Something to gain feet first, and
I don't know if Benny the Butcher has some type of random superpower or some shit like that, but I'm pretty sure most people who jump gonna come in feet first.
It's on my wrist and as well as my hip. It's cold metal. This kind of game only run through your veins and your bone marrow. It costs me.
Oh my God!
And I was invited.
The pair.
Dope boy alumni, such a classy unit. All double R.
Hey yo, this vocal sample just sounds like they both in an elevator going to a floor that nobody's seen. This instrumental is like a mixture of favor and luxury. Sly Green. Nah.
Only rapper that would have thrived in the Tupac era. I'm talking
Oh my God! Bars. I'm the only rapper that would have survived in the Tupac era. How true this line is and how it perfectly defines Griselda. I've got nothing to explain about that. It's self-explanatory, but Jesus, you ain't have to say it.
I know some niggas that rather kill you before they respect you. The fuck rap me and my niggas, so boy it's professional. When my enemies not, I shoot with nobody around me like a penalty shot. When niggas traps was warming up, mine was literally hot.
I might catch a stray listening to this album.
18, I had a trap bumping like acne. Niggas want the formula. I sold the dope to them, then I watched them shoot it in they veins. With my real niggas.
What? Hey man, I'm just letting you know right now. I haven't heard anything in this album that I wouldn't show to my mama. Honestly, I could picture a track like this playing behind Juice, the movie. I could picture this playing just behind that beat. The chase scene and everything. I could picture this playing perfectly right there. Early New York style movie. This would be playing in the background. It definitely would. One Way Flight featuring Freddie Gibbs. Dog, you're not about to hit a loop. You're not about to. Hit Boy does a lot of things. Don't hit me with a loop right now off some old sample where the woman's voice is immaculate and angelic and is looping in the background. It's got all the soul that the track needs. Don't do that. Because if you do, I'm going to go somewhere.
10-year run, and as predicted, my persistence got my name all full.
Ew, I don't know.
What's more important, the flower or the soil that grow it? Yeah, it's cool, but
Hey, yo. I'm gonna have to go back. Hey, no, be quiet. I'm gonna have to go back. All of that, I wasn't expecting this. This one, I wasn't. Like, this is a little different. And I don't like being one of those people that's like, oh man, this might be one of his best tracks. But this might be one of his best tracks. You're not even done yet. Calm the fuck down.
I got a broad I never saw before 1 a.m. I'm out west and crazy girls cleaning out the ATM. I need my pager back.
I want to say Freddie go away, but he's always welcome.
The hoes who fall in love with trappers and break bad, she takes in my home.
Hit you. Oh man. This album is nasty. This is the type of music that I love listening to when an artist, specifically a rapper, that I think is capable lyrically. This is the type of music that I want them rapping on. This is the foundation that they should have, you know? That soul in the back is just perfect. Y'all don't realize the space it puts artists that can spit in when they have that soul foundation to their music. You don't realize that combination of penmanship and emotion cannot be recreated in any other genre.
Bitches and bitches, and they fucking us all.
I feel like a beat switch is coming.
I control my bitches OnlyFans. I got computer work. Freddie came.
Nah, stop! You pimping the OnlyFans?
Sent home early just like the Clippers. Is you with it, bitch?
That's fucked up. That track was fantastic. But Freddie Gibbs, you're gonna have to apologize because Kawhi might not have deserved it. All right, maybe Paul George does, but not Kawhi. You know who does deserve that? Doc Rivers. That's who deserves it. All right. Say that line for Doc Rivers. Specifically, track number 5 is Famous. Hey man, I didn't expect this, to be honest. Every track so far is hit perfectly.
He asked me how I feel. I guess niggas wanna know.
Hit Boy is killing this.
$100. Now we don't get dressed for less than 100,000. Niggas call me just to check if my number the same. Damn.
Man, this dude is talking his shit. It's braggadocio on top of a come-up story. This is my perfect scenario right now. Like, this is exactly what I want out of a rap album.
Being the best ever in New York, say like that.
I don't know in which way he means he doesn't feel famous, because if he means it the way I feel like he means it, which I could kind of understand, is he didn't see beyond, you know, his first brick. Like, that was the pinnacle of success in his area. So when he got that was the fame. That was, you know, achieving some sort of goal or achieving some sort of success. He even said earlier in this album, you know, I dropped the money before I even heard the price, you know, because I was that eager to get my foot in the door. So I can imagine this in comparison is easy work. It's light work. It's nothing near the same, because the level of work that is required for rap as opposed to what he used to do, I'm sure the work scale is probably like this and this. The rap shit probably becomes super easy now. And it's like, why do people love me for this? Because it comes so easy to them, but to everybody else, they're just astonished. Oh, we've already heard track number 6. I believe that one was Timeless with Wayne and Big Shawn. Really like that record too. So we're 6 for 6 for me so far with this album. It's great right now. It's great. We going into track number 7, New Streets.
Rubbing me the wrong way when these rappers speak comfortably about street life. It seems like they only giving y'all luxuries. You know this game come with way more consequences than jail.
He sounds like, I ain't gonna lie, and it's not a slight, because he still has his own voice, but the spirit right now is prime Hove. That is the spirit of this track.
She said, be careful, I told baby girl I be strapped. But honestly, losses taught me more than my wins did. It's complicated.
Yo!
Thumbs of abandonment, we suffer damages. You see out here winning. It's 100 niggas still in the trenches.
I thought I had a favorite track, but that one might be my favorite. That one might be my favorite just because of the attention to realizing talent don't make luck. You know what I mean? It's a lot of talented people. There are a lot of people that have gifts that don't get the opportunity that you do, that don't have the awareness of yourself that you might, that aren't given the time or may not have the opportunity to take a look at themselves and realize what they need to do, where they need to grow. Hearing something like this just means like, hey, don't think because I'm one of the people that you're hearing right now that I'm the only Benny the Butcher out there, or that I'm the only person that has this story. On a different day, I might not be here. Just kind of realizing that this isn't some like drenched in divine type experience where I'm the only person that could have ever achieved this, and just realizing how close you are to ground level despite people propelling you and propping you up as if you're something so huge. I just think that's a great message for this track. And instrumentally, the soul here is 100%. I love it. Over the Limit featuring Dom Kennedy.
Only 3 out of 10 of us gon' make it, so no President Trump shit, elegant thug shit, yeah. I'ma push it to the limit, cop the same day and got the windows tinted.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, that hook trash. I ain't gonna lie, that hook trash. I'll never need to hear that shit again in my life. But I like the track, even though the instrumental is probably my least favorite on this album. He's spitting, but that hook trash. That hook trash. Yeah, and this track feels like really layered too. Like there's a lot of elements going on. Like it feels like a little poppy. Like it feels like a little retro in the background. The sound, it's kind of woozy. It's a little poppy. It's weird the way it kind of comes together, because without the drums, you swear this is a totally different genre right now. But track number 9 is Trade It All.
Everything God forward came from me losing my brother on this road to success, and yes, it came at a cost, so don't confuse what you hear.
Where have I heard this background song before? This vocal sample.
You ever fuck 2 best friends that share an apartment?
Kinda.
I live that life, but y'all only gangsta on iTunes. I trade it all.
Hey yo, this man track. I thought I had a favorite. This is perfect. I don't think I would rather have him on anything else. Everything that he's doing right now is smooth. It's perfect. The production perfectly fits him. Beyond the street talk and the braggadocio, like there's sadness and there's a pain to this right now. There's a want and a feeling of just grief at having all this and then not having the people that stood tall with you and were solid with you your whole life, not having them with you. Like there's a pain to this. It's always been more than the street shit for me when it comes to listening to them, but like for the people that need something like kind of just spelt out for them, like this is some of that. I think I only exist as this drug dealer turned rapper. Like, let me show you, I still go through the same, motions as everybody else. If I could trade this all to have my kin back, so you would never know my name, I would do it in a heartbeat. Thank God I made it.
It's by a woman, so shout out to single mothers who had to teach their teenage boys to use rubbers. You made me the man I am today. I never told you.
Oh my. I'm sorry, man. If this dude is making a track dedicated to his moms, like, come on now. This track about to hit home a totally different way. I already know it.
Had to protect my family, so we play with guns. I look in my nephew eyes and I see my brother. Sometimes I gotta look away because it hurts so much.
Man.
And he was worth so much.
Man, I can't, yo. This is a little insane for me. Like, I can't just. It's like an onslaught of real shit. It's not just bars. It's just an onslaught of reality, and it feels good hearing it. An onslaught of it on a track. It just, I don't know. It feels like it's being recognized.
And all the shit and damn, I hope my brother hear it. Niggas scared of the butcher. I know suckers fear it.
I think Queen did her thing on that track. Perfectly blended into like this choir-like vocal in the background. I guess it's like really emphasizing the whole, thanking God for this moment, thanking God for making it. Track number 11 is War Paint featuring Conway and Westside Gunn. Oh, you know what?
The butcher coming.
I think I heard this shit on Conway's live one day. I don't remember what day it was, but I heard somebody playing.
Measurate me now. All this
Paper gonna change me how. Yeah, I like that.
Raw made hustlers on my block stars.
Like Billy Ocean.
Dope money. Blowing up my straps again. No folks to put the wall against my back again.
I've been waiting for this track to come out for months. I remember hearing this a long time ago. I've been waiting for this for months. I like Westside Gunn's verse on here too, don't get me wrong. But like I say, he's more of a curator. Conway probably had one of the best lines.
I don't know if it's because my shorty's such a fan, or did she realize in
that moment I'm the motherfucking man. That shit is crazy. Yeah, War Paint is another banger on here for me. This is another perfect track.
Furnished till a garage, get a drop in it. And now I want nothing for free. They ain't know me then, bet they checking out. Know 155,000, weigh like 7 pounds. Said I'ma be a legend soon.
Jesus Christ. I want y'all to understand, like every bar that he's spitting right now, yes, I understand it. I can hear it. I can catch it, but sometimes you just gotta let him rap. What good is it me repeating what he just said? If you didn't hear it, rewind. Let it sizzle in your spirit. Hey man, that was Benny the Butcher and Hit Boy's album, Burden of Proof. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Our first listen, and I'm probably gonna love this a lot more as I continue. This is probably my favorite album that's come out. Cause I expected some of this to be disappointing. I really did. Our first listen, I expected a good portion of this, at least 3, 4, 5 tracks maybe, to be pretty disappointing. Like I said, I heard the 21 Savage and Metro Boomin project. it's just another example of producers knowing exactly what's going to fit the artist, you know? And I think Benny, from what I've heard in its past, hasn't rapped over instrumentals that sound as well put together as this. Not to say that the producers that he's been working with aren't good, but it's been a lot dirtier. You know, here it's more clean, but it still has an edge to it. It still has a personality, a soul. It still has, it still grabs your attention in a way that's specific to the artist, that feels like you can't just go to Hit Boy and ask for a Benny the Butcher type beat and remake the song. Like, this is a relationship that they've built, and you can feel it in the songs. I think this is easily Benny's best rapping too. This is a near flawless album. It really is. It's got a perfect combination of soul, perfect combination of street, perfect combination of personality, of hunger, of endurance, struggle, of braggadocio. It's the perfect meld of all of that. I'll probably put up some after credit thoughts about this album too. So, you know, you'll hear some like voiceover commentary in a little while, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. Despite some of the content, there's still such a strong level of earnesty flowing throughout this project that gives it a level of authenticity. You know, on the surface, I know a lot of Benny's music and Griselda in general sounds a bit braggadocious and as if it's posturing the entire time, but there's really a level of honesty to everything that's going on in their lives. It's so transparent. In the same track where Benny's talking about dope dealing and taking over the rap game, he'll also casually drop lines about being pained that his brother's no longer with him, being pained to look at his nephew. In the same track where he's acknowledging he would have thrived in the 90s era, or that maybe he's one of the best rappers right now in the game, he also acknowledges how easily he could give it all away. This album and a good deal of their catalog just constantly reinforce the narrative that income isn't necessarily equivalent to value. Notoriety and popularity isn't necessarily equivalent to talent. And they just keep reinforcing this. Some bars and some lines get a little too detailed for me to question. I know I referenced it earlier in the review as well, but how strongly this album references Hove is incredible. This album feels East Coast. It feels New York. More specifically, it may feel Buffalo to Benny, but I could easily picture Jay-Z rapping over this in the early 2000s. I get strong early Rockefeller vibes from this album. I get strong early Beanie Seagal references. Some of the beats even sound kind of Kanye-esque. And while in a normal world, I'd probably say some of the beats border on imitation. Some of the beats may border on being so blatantly inspired by XYZ. I can't say that I would prefer it any other way, with Benny the Butcher being the one to rap over them. That's the ilk, that's the era that these artists come from. They took an era that many people have moved beyond and decided to add to it to show people that the past can still be relevant and present. They're reviving this style and reviving this sound to show that the style never died, the rappers did. The sound never got old, the spirit just went away. And when I hear stuff like this, I feel that spirit being brought back. The sound is probably one of my favorite aspects of this album because it puts people like Benny the Butcher in sometimes a new light. Sometimes the harsher, more brash, more in your face or aggressive production help portray Benny in a way that we've already seen him, so it may not do too much. But these soul inspired hip hop tracks, these cuts that are a little bit more smooth, cuts that are a little bit more sunny, I would say, really aid in Benny being visible from more than just a one-dimensional point of view. And last but not least, I love how uncompromising this record is, how it doesn't try so hard to fit into every group, how it doesn't try so hard to fit into every demographic, not trying to make everyone a fan of it. He knows his demographic, he knows his fan base, he knows who likes him and for what they like him for, and he continues to evolve in that. The flows are smooth, the flows are tight, and this project alone puts him on an entirely different level than he was on before. Easily. This is coming from one of the people that was saying Tana Talk 3 was probably one of the best, if not the best project to come out of Griselda. That's all I got. Benny the Butcher with Burden of Proof.